Hello everybody, welcome to my second vlog. Well, what a week it's been. It's been NHS Change Week. What a fantastic week, and I've been proud to be part of that week. I've seen so many pledges which will make a change to so many, whether that's the patients or the teams they work with. I've seen so many great things happening in practice, being delivered today, unique things that we need to all share that fab stuff. What's the point to keep reinventing the wheel when there's fab stuff going on elsewhere? I've always had this one idea in life. If you can steal it, borrow it, use it. But let me talk to you about the NHS, my beloved National Health Service, our beloved National Health Service. Born in 1948, we're about to celebrate its 70th year next year. What a great testament to the people who developed it, who came up with the idea. And I'm not interested who says it was, the Conservatives, the Liberal or Labour. I just know one man's passion and vision drove it through, and that was Ian Bevan. And will always be indebted to Ian Bevan for what he did. He created the envy of the world. Yes, the National Health Service is the envy of the world. What other country do people come to see a health service in working? They come to the UK. They come to the United Kingdom. They come to see our National Health Service. We are the envy of the world. Remember, in other parts of the world, if you can't show a credit card, you haven't got money in your bank, you haven't got insurance, you don't get seen, you don't get treated. Simple. But we're not like that in the United Kingdom. We hold no barriers. You can be a multimillionaire or somebody who's not employed, you get treated the same. And that's what makes the National Health Service so special. I've even got a more dedication to the National Health Service than many think. I started in 1980, as I've said, some 37 years ago. I'd got hair then. It was a little bit tinted as well, a bit streaks, blonde streaks, but please don't tell anybody that, whatever you do. I couldn't live that down if that got out. But let me look at it. As I said, my gran on my dad's side worked in the NHS. She was a cook at the George Eliot Hospital in Nuneaton. My other gran, she was a midwife, district midwife to be precise. I always remember that. She always told me, I'm not just a midwife, I'm a district midwife. She delivered me. She delivered thousands of my friends. One thing we had in common, and we've all got this in common, we were all born in the National Health Service, our NHS. Every day I go to work, I've been proud to work in this now, as I've said, for 37 years. What makes the NHS? Well, I'll tell you what makes it in my view, the people who work in it. They're so passionate, so dedicated, so caring, and they want to do their best. Whether, as we are now in austerity times, they want to do their best. Politicians don't see that. They don't see people coming in 2 hours before or stopping 2 hours of shift and not being paid, because they all care for the patients within there. They all care for their teams. They all care for our National Health Service. And I thank every one of you who work in it and have worked in it, and the thousands who will go on to work in it. Where do I see the NHS in the next 70 years? I don't know. I know one thing though, it will always be changing. It's changed since the day I walked in 1980. Maybe I've been a radical. Don't know. People say I am. People say I'm different. Certainly, my wife definitely thinks I'm slightly different. But for me, I've had this same mantra from the day I walked in the NHS and said I was going to work in the NHS. I wanted to treat every patient who comes into my care or in the NHS, regardless whether I see them, because I'm just a number facilities person. I cook, that's my trade, I'm a chef. I clean, I move things, I'm a logistics person, I'm a porter, I'm a car park attendant. I've done everything. But for me, it's all about that. But I want every patient to be treated as I would my mother. And that goes for the staff I work with. We treat them with dignity, with care, we give them the correct training and the correct tools. Treat them as you would yourself. The people who work in the NHS are the best tool that anybody can have. They're so dedicated. It really annoys me when the politicians play football with the NHS. And if there's one thing I'd like to see, in the next 5 years. Please, let's depoliticise the NHS. Give it some body to run. Give it some people who know and are passionate about it, but give them the funding. That's the key. Give them the funding. Let's see social care and healthcare integrated. That's got to happen. We're an ageing nation. We're an ingrown population. That's why the NHS at this point in time is under the most severe pressure it's ever been under. Not just financially, but from the amount of people that our wonderful NHS is treating. Medicine's advanced. I believe in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 70 years, they'll find cures for diseases that sadly blight us today. Think about the diseases that were there in 1948, which now some of them have eradicated. But above all, there's one thing that won't change, and that's the people and the dedication and the love I have for the NHS. I've always said, while I'm alive, the NHS is protected. And I know that goes for the thousands and millions of you out there. We have to all work together for our beloved NHS. We have to embrace change. We have to change the culture, and change makes it easy. And you've got it to do. The people who are listening to this blog, you can make a difference. You are making a difference if you work in the NHS. The next time you see somebody who you know, if you don't work in the NHS who does, just say to them, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the small differences. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being passionate. Thank you for showing compassion. Thank you for the dignity that you show. But above all, just thank you for working in our beloved NHS. As I said, I love the NHS. I love all it stands for. That's why I get involved in weeks like this Fab Change Week, because I know the small things make a large difference. So without that, we'll never be able to say we don't care, because my goodness, we do care, every one of you, and I've seen it this week. Let's start sharing the fab stuff even more. Stop reinventing the wheel. I've got this shameless thing in life. Steal it. If it's good, steal it and use it. Why do you want to keep reinventing the wheel? Innovation, I've always said this in my last blog, innovation does not come with a plug on it. Innovation can be the smallest thing. Innovation can be the largest thing. Don't use that word impossible. Use that word it's possible. We can do that. We can change that. And you'll make a difference for our NHS. Thank you for listening to this blog. My next one, I might do on hydration. Another key area that I love. But for this, thank you for listening. Take care. Have a great weekend. But above all, remember, we're all born in the NHS.